Did you ever get in touch with Bobby Roy or anything? Or you stayed
No,
with Bobby? You didn't bother.
So they told us Sunday night about the whole,
Right.
And that's when we changed our mind.
I'm good now. Hello and welcome to USTS, the Ultimate Sports Training Show. I'll be your host for today's show, Bob Lemire. And joining me on today's show is probably one of the finest athletes I've seen, pound for pound, his whole life. He's done many sports, done them all, especially martial arts, taekwondo, and football were his biggies back in the day. We're going to talk about that and what else he's going on. Actually, there's a lot to talk about. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thank
Jim
you very
Lemire.
much. Thanks for having me.
Jim Lemire. Jim Lemire is my son, by the way. So if I go off into a bragging mode, I can do that. Jim, just tell us a little about yourself and what's going on.
Well, I'm 46-year-old, 47 this year. Oh, Lord. I guess I'm losing time. Just a general contractor, old man softball player. Not much more to say. I mean, I work 7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
You've done that for many years.
Long time.
You own your own company.
General contracting company, yep.
Extreme Measures, out in Londonderry, New Hampshire.
Correct.
You've what, about 10 years now with Extreme Measures or more?
Since 2014.
2014.
13, 14, I started the company on my own, yep.
Yeah, and wow.
I've been in construction since I was
a kid.
19.
Yeah,
20.
yeah. Now, when you started construction, you didn't start on the American Builder, did you?
No, I started as a roofing laborer.
Okay.
All I did was lump shingles and strip them.
Right, yeah.
That was it.
Yeah. Boy, once you do that, everything else is gravy.
Oh, yeah. All easy work after that.
Yeah. Jimmy, I don't want to go backwards or anything about sports and stuff, but Jimmy was also on the American Builder show. How many years were you on that for? 8 years.
8 years with the American Builder.
American Builder. And if no one knows what, I think he's on YouTube now.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
A lot of bleeping.
I don't think. I don't think he's on regular TV or any kind of TV show. I think it's YouTube. Brian Gurry.
YouTube and podcasts and
So he's doing that and still commercials.
Yep.
But Jimmy was Jimmy was on the show for I would say, what do you say, 8 years or whatever. And what would you call yourself, the co-host or sidekick or crazy guy that they love to watch?
I was the television candy.
Yeah.
I would throw things, temper tantrums, but I was also good at building things. So.
That's right. Yeah.
And Brian just seemed to love my temperament and my attitude.
Because he had the same thing. Yeah. What the show is become about, it started off, I think, at one thing, but after a while it became of, if things can go wrong, they will go wrong, because that's Murphy's Law. Yeah. And so it's not all, this is perfect.
We don't hide it.
Yeah,
we show you the mistakes.
And guys love that, because guys know it don't work that
and the
perfect.
reaction of said mistake, which would be usually a hammer going across the room or picking drywall.
Whatever's in your hand. And you're throwing it all. That was good for your body. It was a good workout.
Kept my shoulders strong.
It sure did. And I looked them up. I looked up the old American Builder shows. I tried to find them on YouTube and stuff, and there's only the new ones.
Yeah.
I think the old ones.
You could find me, but you got to really almost pinpoint the exact show,
right,
and say specific wording to get to find me.
Right.
Unfortunately, because I know I had some TV gold for.
Oh, yeah. I looked up the other day, I was trying to do a little homework for this show, and Jimmy Lemire, American Builder, right off the bat, you're trying to dig sand out of the ground with that machine. And he had a machine that was digging, he rented the machine, and he's digging, trying to get the post in, and it was all sand, and it kept going back in. And the language and and all of a sudden I said, after that, I think Gary said, wow, this is gold with this kid. Yep. Yeah, his reaction is just, he's upset. Yep. And that's... and
he would always just dig, make me madder. And
the madder you would get, or the more something would go wrong. Not that but when that camera's on you 24/7, when you're playing...
Catch everything.
they can catch everything, and it starts aggravating you.
Oh,
I remember once in a while you were so mad. You looked at the camera guy. You go, "I'm going to take that camera. I'm going to shove it with you," and he would get away because
they knew.
Yeah, because you can only take so much when you're really trying to get something done.
Well, that was it. That was not my job. My job was to build and make the company money.
Yeah.
The side gig was, which I wasn't getting paid for, so I
Yeah.
hated it even more.
Right,
Was
yeah.
to have a camera
In your
behind
head.
my head. I'd whack my head almost
Yeah.
a day, 2-3 times a day.
Yeah. And it was James Maroney. I'm going to give him a plug. He was one of the greatest cameramen. We loved him.
Giggles.
And we had some fun with James. But the thing is, he'd see James would know when you were ready to go off, and he'd go running into Gary.
Tattletale James would
It's
go.
coming, and you'd start screaming with your mic, and it was funny. But anyway, so you did the American Builder for that many years. Wow. And then Jimmy had a little gig in Karate Kid, the next Karate Kid movie with Hilary Swank.
Yep.
Did you ever get to meet her, by the way?
Yeah, not the
Just-
most friendly person, but I
Well,
mean,
yeah, you're a bunch of guys that are, yeah.
bunch of meatheads around.
What were you, about 18 or 17, 18?
Oh, no, I was 16.
You-
I was a freshman in high school.
Okay, all right. So you were 16, 17. I have some great pictures of you with, what was it, Moriarty?
Mr. Miyagi.
Mrs. Miyagi.
Pat
Pat
Morita.
Marita, okay. And you're standing right behind him.
Yep. Michael Ironside.
Yeah, with Harrington. Was it Rich Harrington? Was that his first name? Rich Harrington was his last name.
Yep.
He was another student of mine and yours.
Yep.
And you're standing behind him as he's ready to punch the guy.
Yep.
And what a picture that
Yeah,
was.
it was. I used that picture because nobody believed I was in it. 'cause
That's
I got
right.
Cut out.
Oh, yeah.
But I had
Oh,
the
did it
picture.
get cut
Yeah,
out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't get cut out at the theater, but it didn't make the chop and block on the cassettes or at
Right.
home.
Okay.
So I was like, "You weren't in that movie," and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I got a photo with me. So
Well,
there
you
I
were in a
was.
couple of scenes. You were in that scene, then you were in the scene with running into the prom or going into the prom
Yep.
with your suit and your hat
My
up
hat
back
on
us
backwards,
backwards.
yeah.
And that was your idea?
I mean, it wasn't. I just had it on, and one of the producers came up and said, "When you go in there, do not take that hat off."
Okay.
And I went in with the hat on, and they didn't like it. And
Right.
The producer came down and said, "I told him to let him wear it."
Because it's kids.
Yeah.
It's what kids
That was
do.
a goofy,
It's a kid thing, and it's what you would do. And so what's funny is you had those scenes and I think one of the directors or somebody liked you. Somebody said, "I like this kid," because I think it was a year or 2 years later. I'm at home and I get a phone call. I don't know if you were still living at home at the time.
I don't think I was.
No, I saw you. It was you're probably about 18, 19, and I get a phone call. Yes, is Jim Lemire there? I go, no, Jim's not here. This is blah blah blah. Director for he was in that movie, The Karate Kid.
Yep.
We have another project for him. I melted. I go, yeah, all right, let me get in touch with him. I called you up and you go, nah, I don't want to do it. I said, Jimmy, they want you for they like you look, Jim. Yeah, what, they're going to give me peanut butter sandwiches at lunch? You're gonna
I'm all set. I'm good.
Dad,
I gotta go to work.
Dad, I got to work. I said, Jimmy, I'll help you with that. You got to do this. Nope. And it broke my heart. I says, oh, that would have been the cool.
I remember saying it's a step back because it was a low budget movie and it wasn't nothing spectacular. And I'm like, I just did a movie with Hilary Swank and Pat Morita and Michael Ironside.
But you
it's
don't
a
know
Karate Kid series. And,
Yeah, but you don't know what part you would have played. You could have been
yeah,
Jimmy's,
I get it.
My granddaughter and Jimmy's daughter, Alexis Lemire, is a great actress out in Los Angeles. Number of movies. What was the last movie she just did with Katie Seagal? She did.
That would have been, oh, geez, don't put me right on the spot.
I know.
Here, huh?
I'm forgetting that.
That would be Torn Hearts.
Torn Hearts.
Yep.
Because
Katie Seagal.
they called it Tender Hearts in the beginning, and then they tore it. So I forgot it too. And then she's a number of other movies, and the other half, the half of it,
The half of it.
the half
the
of it.
Mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a few there, yep.
Oh yeah, and she's and now things are slowing down with the strike and all that. And
Yeah, struggling actress.
yeah, that's a tough. Well, everyone's struggling now. Even the big actors. She's a member of SAG, right?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, you have to be if you are. But Katie Seagal loved her.
Yeah.
She loved her.
Really loved her.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. She said she was a season. So it's in the blood. uh, when Jimmy was, how old do you think when you won the New Hampshire State Championships for your
13, 12.
12, 13? Yeah, you remember that like it was yesterday, don't you?
It does getting foggier the older I get.
But
I start inventing things that actually didn't happen.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
the
they all
stories
gotta
a
be
little
good. Yeah,
Cooler,
yeah.
But no, I do.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Yeah. What happened with Jimmy was trained hard, heart of gold, had asthma and bronchitis, and always had it as a kid. Or you were allergic to everything.
I'm allergic to air.
Everything, yeah. We took you for those tests, and everything popped up. I'm like, are you kidding me? And you fought it and fought it. All your sports, you had to fight it. Mm-hmm. And as we mentioned, we just did a Taekwondo show about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, and we kind of talked a little about this. And I remember Jimmy fought and beat everybody. And all of a sudden, he had the championship fight, and this kid was good, too. So both of us were squaring off 3 rounds. And by the 3rd round, it was dead even. Jimmy comes in, he couldn't breathe. And I'm in his corner, I goes, Jim. He goes, Dad, I'm tired. I'm hurting, I'm tired. I go, Jim, he's more tired than you. And I don't think the kid was because you couldn't breathe. No. I says, you won't be tired, you won't be hurt after you beat him and get that gold medal on you. You went out there, you went crazy. Mm-hmm. I suck. All my grandmasters and masters are coming over me going, look at him go. I go, he's dying, but he wants that gold. I remember putting that gold around your neck, and I said, Jim, does it hurt anymore? No, Dad, it don't hurt.
What pain.
And you know what? In my mind, I think that turned your life around a little because you had black belts picking you up, hugging you, shaking your hand. And all of a sudden you said, wow, what an addiction. Yeah. This is an addiction to win.
Yep. Just fighting, period. I mean,
yeah.
It just,
yeah.
Then we went to the U.S. Cup, fought down there, and then
in Connecticut,
constantly trying to find a way to incorporate some sort of a fighting or just physicality in my life.
That's right.
Whether it be lifting, whether it be boxing, kickboxing, wrestling, it didn't matter. I just enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it. Yeah. Well, it's in your blood.
Football was my contact. I mean, but
football. Yeah. Well, you started
Taekwondo
football.
Definitely.
Well, it helped you.
Set me up.
It helped you confidence. The confidence. I mean, and you'd scrap in football with the big boys. And actually, one of the high school coaches started calling you Ninja because you took one of the constantly big boy bullies out because he said something. And that guy, Mr. Kane,
that was Coach Casper.
He said that.
Yep.
Ninja.
He threw me about 30 feet. Because he was aggravated that I was fighting.
Well, on the team, your own teammates.
Goes, hey,
listen, Ninja.
Don't change anything.
You just keep tough.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you started football 7, 6.
Yeah, 7 or 8. Yeah.
Raw and not knowing much. No. A lot of people had brothers or whatever and played. You just started off. And it's like
very, very green.
It's so green, and I would think by the second or third year, I think it was the 3rd year. Yeah. They let you kick an extra point. Yep. All right, which is unheard of in Pop Warner.
At the Mighty Might level, which is what it's considered now, Mighty Might.
You just became all of a sudden. It was like, wow, you changed, and that was Coach Anglin, I think. Yeah. Yep. See, I remember a lot of that stuff. Yep. Yeah, and I said, what are they doing? They scored a touchdown. They're going to let Jimmy kick an extra point at Pop Warner. Yep. They don't let you do that in high school.
Right, barely, yeah.
Barely. Well, you did that in freshman year.
School, yeah.
One of the first ones, I think. That's what
I was the first PAT
one. PAT ever at the freshman level at Greater Lowell. Yeah, that was Coach Mario.
Mario and Coach Burgess.
That's a good shout out to them. Yeah. Tremendous. Yeah. Burgess loved you.
Favorite coach of all time.
Well, the freshman year, undefeated.
Yep.
Undefeated. Could not touch you. And I wonder if it still holds, and we should have tried to find that out before we got here. But
it's one of those records, I don't think they really keep them because they don't really care about the freshman team all that much. But we were just a juggernaut. It didn't matter who we played. We ran right over them.
Well, yeah, it was, and I filmed every game. Mm-hmm. I got filmed every game since you started from day one, and God only knows if those films down the cellar all dried up, and you can't mold it, and no one owns those kind of VCRs anymore anyway.
No.
I remember giving you a couple of them, and I destroyed 3 of your VCRs.
Yeah,
trying to
the
play.
TV's on fire.
Nothing's working. But I remember going all the games. But that freshman year, we went to all the games, and we traveled all over. Me and my cousin Rich Martin, and I'd film it. And the last game of the year, remember that?
2 undefeated teams.
Lawrence, Greater Lawrence.
Yep.
And it was you. You were in the backfield with David Lopez.
Yep.
David Lopez, and you're losing. Maybe a minute left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You're down in your 5-yard line.
Yeah,
You got
buried.
there's no way you're going to lose this game, and this will be the only loss in the last game of the year. And you in the backfield with Dave Lopez. I got this on film.
Yep.
And
Fake punt.
it was a fake punt.
You
were done.
I was pretty much kicking out of the end zone,
Yeah.
and it was me just jumping up, pretending I caught the ball.
Right.
But it was a direct snap right to David, who, God bless him, best running back I've ever played with. And I played with some good ones
Yeah,
in
yeah.
high school. And that
Couldn't
kid
touch
was
him.
just a bowling ball.
Yeah.
He would bounce it, and he did. He must have broke 12 tackles.
Low to the ground.
93 yard.
93-yard touchdown.
Big
You
punt
guys
for a
won the
touchdown.
game
Yep.
right there. And I remember Mario. He's a big guy.
Big boy.
He must have jumped 20 feet in the air.
He was running
He ran fast.
toe to toe all the way down with David, who was the
He
fastest
did.
guy in the league.
Yeah. Go, Mike. And that was an undefeated season.
Yep.
Yeah, that was that. I had so much fun that year. Me and my cousin
That was my favorite year.
every Friday.
Every Friday. And that was my favorite year of all 4 years of high school. And I started pretty much all 4 years.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
And
and captain, and
that nothing sticks out more than freshman.
yeah, no,
By far.
and the funny thing is, Burgess had this rough. He was a rough coach, and it was like
Always mad.
No matter what you guys done. Now, how many? 10 games, 9 games, 8 games.
It was 8 games, 8-0.
Eight wins, no losses.
We always
It didn't matter. You always stunk after the
guys are
game.
terrible.
No, not all you guys.
Uncomfortable.
I would be sitting there in the stands, and you guys can't play. You don't know. You're terrible, except for Jimmy Lemire, and he would do that. He loved you, and I'm like, please don't do that to me. He come over to me one day. He goes, I'm going to tell you something. He's probably one of the best football players I ever coached. He goes, I love everything about everything he does, and he's running his team. He's captain. He's just because you were out there and you knew your football.
Well, it was funny. I don't know if you remember, but I had to get like 8 stitches out of my hand, and I told you I'm not even going to try out for football because I can't play with the stitches. And ended up not going, and you talked me into it. The tryouts were Friday. Didn't go. Weekend comes, and you said, "Hey, you got to give it a shot. I mean, you've been playing your whole life. You got to go."
And you said it's too late. They already started.
I did. I said, "Too late, Jimmy. It's never too late." And
No.
I walked down to the field, and no uniform. Everyone's already in full pants.
Oh yeah.
And I first person I come across is Mario.
Yeah.
What do you want? What are you doing?
you doing?
I'm, all right, you try out for Friday.
Yeah.
Hey, ever play football? My whole life.
All right. What?
Well, wait, what?
Pop one of your
How
whole.
long? I mean, I played 3 years of Mighty Mites, C, G, all the way
Yeah.
up to A.
Yeah.
What positions? I go fullback and linebacker. You saw him perk up, get all excited.
Yeah.
He goes, Burgess,
Burgess.
I got our linebacker. And, Burgess,
Yeah. All right.
Mr.
I got
Cool,
one. Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, who is
Look
this
at him.
kid?
Never
Yeah.
probably never played football before.
Yeah.
Mario takes me down, gets me in uniforms right out of the gate. Oklahomas, which are like outlawed now. You don't even do them anymore because people get hurt.
Right.
And I'm just killing people.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And
Fullback and linebacker.
right
Here we
off
go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you were even doing that. Yeah, they would give you plays, and you'd cut them off, the coaches, and you'd say no.
Yeah.
And I'd say, Jim, what are you doing, Dad? I saw this in the college game last week. I'm telling you, and it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. You were out there. You were the general.
We had 3 calls that they would call them in, and sometimes we just didn't like a specific lineup, and
Right.
I would just call a different play. It was usually BC, Penn State, or Oklahoma, and
Right.
call them. And I loved BC because it meant I got the blitz,
Right.
and I would just call the blitz. But it usually worked out in our favor. And Mario looks like a
Yeah.
Bill Belichick
Oh, yeah.
on the sidelines, and I'm
Yeah.
over here changing the calls. And I said, nobody tell these guys I'm changing the calls.
Yeah, and that's what they would say. Mario loved, but they loved you. I've never seen coaches shine. But I mean, you can't tell the whole team they stink, except for Jimmy Lemire. He's
Made
the
it
only
real
one.
awkward for me.
He's the only one that worked out there, and I'm like, they just won their 7th game in a row.
David's got 300 yards rushing in one game with 7 touchdowns. And all I did was block for him, but I'm the only one playing. I'm like, God, you're killing me, buddy. You're killing me.
Yeah. Did you ever talk to him about that? Please don't say that again. Or he didn't care. Because I tell you, he talked to me if I see him today.
He didn't care. He reveled in it. It was his way of without
maybe trying to get them to all work harder again too.
right without picking on somebody. He
Right.
just said play more like him. Now,
Right.
granted, I did.
No, you did.
Everything on the field at all times, and I didn't come out. I don't think I ever came out that whole year.
No, unless we went right to the hospital.
I did that,
And that was once a year.
Yeah.
Well, when you play the whole game and middle linebacker, and then you
Started as a fullback,
fullback,
then went to tight end.
tight end. That's right. Yeah, I like it. You're getting hit.
Every play.
You're getting hit, and you're getting hit by some
Bigger than me. I was 175 pounds.
And I don't even know if you were that heavy. Well, you went not when you were a junior, sophomore.
Freshman, sophomore,
You had to be
junior, I went from like
140.
150 to 160.
Thank God the
170.
pads make you look big, because there was some giants.
Luckily for me, I was as tall as I am now.
And you were strong
sophomore.
though. You were strong though. Well, you had
a lot of taekwondo.
You had the martial arts in
in
you. You had the martial arts, and you were always working out. You were state champion and U.S. Cup champion and stuff. So you had that mindset, that mentality, and then you did a little tennis with your buddy Jay
Yeah.
Patnod.
Yep. Tennis.
Well, that's a fun.
Because I didn't want to play baseball anymore, and there was a lot of good-looking girls on the tennis team. So I
Oh,
said,
well,
hey,
yeah.
Stick my toe in that water for a minute.
When you did pretty well though, you were doing well.
we-
I mean,
we went to,
you never played much.
I only played. I ended up with a cute girl, and we ended up playing doubles the whole time.
All the time. No, were you partners with Jay? No. I thought you were. I had that in my mind.
I did a few singles matches, but me and the one girl is Vinalong Wangadong, I think was the name of the Asian girl.
Yeah.
She was better than I was. when
Right.
it started, but I got better, and we ended up making it to the state tournament.
Wow. Yeah.
My only year I ever played.
Right. Yeah, because you never played before that, really.
No.
Maybe fooling around.
Baseball, hand-eye
Yeah.
coordination, it's all the same.
Yeah, but Jesus, I mean, that'll get you tired if you're playing against someone who knows what.
Oh yeah, they just put the ball where you don't.
Right, you're gonna
can't get it.
running around like
That's
a.
why I like doubles, because it was either
Yeah.
her side or my
You
side.
get it.
Yeah. I was yours.
I didn't know. So it was a male-female doubles.
Yeah,
I thought-
mixed. It was mixed doubles. Yep.
And you never played with Jay.
I mean, we practice and stuff.
Oh, okay.
together.
I
We
thought
never
you were
played
playing.
it
Oh, okay.
on,
Because I could see that would have been funny. I never went to those games. I had to work. I owned my
He
own
was
business.
he was a comedian. It would have been more fun than it would have been.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Winning.
Yeah, that's funny. And you did some baseball, and you did well in baseball. Your freshman year.
Yeah, I
mean-
dropped the ball with that, quitting, but it is what it is.
Well-
You can't always.
Yeah. Again, you had a freshman coach who loved you,
Biotti.
Mr. Piatti, and once you get used to someone loving you, and then you get to a next level, and they're a different person, or they got an attitude.
Just a
Anything
different
can
coach,
happen.
different coach, and,
yeah.
and I wasn't up on the pecking order. I was still only a sophomore.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
and you're not used to that.
No,
so
I
you
used to
weren't
be
used to that.
top dog, and
That's right.
I wasn't even in the
Yeah.
kennel at that point. I was
But when you were freshman, you were unbelievable. Third base, we played.
batted 600,
That's what I'm saying.
crushing.
Well, you played baseball your whole life in the little league. That was with Beatti in the freshman.
Yep.
Uh,
And I just didn't. I wasn't enjoying myself, so I went and joined the. I said I'm done.
right.
I hung up my cleats, and
Yeah.
brought out the tennis shoes.
Yeah. Oh, so you went from that to tennis.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did a little wrestling while you were there too.
Yeah, little wrestling.
Uh,
I wasn't much for the road work. That's
Right.
why I quit wrestling. Because
Right.
hey, let's go run 20 miles on Monday. joined the wrestling team, not the cross country team.
And as I said, you had
I regret that decision too.
but you had you're still doing taekwondo here and there, so it's not like you were always bouncing around the taekwondo, but you still had the breathing problem.
Oh yeah.
Do you still have it today?
No, actually, I can actually run pretty well now.
Because I remember you were on that breathing thing even like 10 years ago, right?
No, I haven't had any really lung issues since probably sophomore year.
But didn't you have a
I haven't had one since high school.
Oh wow.
Yep. Nope. I outgrew it. Thank God, because that was torture.
Yeah, and your lungs just got stronger. I would imagine, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, you wouldn't let me rest. Like, you didn't. There was no go home and watch cartoons and watch
No, you were
garbage
always,
TV and hang around and play video games. It was get out of the house, go run, go play. And football helped a lot because it made me run.
Yeah, and when you play that many years, and you had 3 months. Is that 3 months? The whole season was 3 months. So training and you started in August, maybe early September.
But everybody else was starting in September. I'd already been doing taekwondo the whole off season,
right.
and then
whatever else.
other sport we were playing during the year. So
right, and that made your lungs stronger.
Yeah.
A lot of times, and even medicine now, if someone's hurting or someone, don't make him breathe hard. Yeah. And so they get weaker. And they get weaker instead of going the opposite direction. Like years ago, you had a hip operation or knee operation. They'd say, "I want you to stay in bed for 3 weeks." Now it's 2 hours later. Get walking.
Rehab. Yep.
I want you walking now. Get on. Yeah, and everything, even women giving birth, or get going. Yep. And the more you move, the faster you're going to heal.
Yeah. The body heals quicker when it's in motion.
See, I'm on the other side, and I'm listening to you breathe. And it was, and I'm like, he cannot catch his breath. And you kept going. And I'm like, this kid's going to, and I remember holding you by the chest one day. We were waiting to go on a ride, and you were running around, and your heart was beating so fast. I was getting scared. But you were only 8 years old at the time.
But I was used to it, too. So for you, it's a panic. For me, it's normalcy. It's everyday life.
Right, and constantly coughing.
And you play football as a kid on a grass football field.
As they're cutting the grass.
Every day they're cutting that grass. And I'm like, I'm allergic to that. No, go sit over by the ragweed. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I remember because when you first started with the football, I go, uh-oh. They'd go, all right, run around 5 times. You were dying.
I could barely do it once.
You were dying, and you were breathing. I'm like, oh, he's
always the last
guy. You weren't a big kid, but it was like he cannot breathe. Thank God you got over that. Yeah, and all the you had a million allergies.
Everything.
The allergies you had.
No food, thank God, but it was all airborne. Dander, pollen, trees, grass.
Any dog.
If it was outside, I was allergic to it.
And now you got 3 dogs.
Yeah. I've outgrown it.
Yeah, you've outgrown it, yeah.
Even if I didn't, I'd fight through it.
Yeah. And then, so you did a little boxing here, as we were mentioning. That's fun. Boxing is fun because we grew up watching the greatest boxers of all times.
It's fun to hit people. I'm not a big fan of getting hit.
Well, you just don't get hit.
That's usually the goal.
Yeah. But when you do, it's, that's like Taekwondo. I mean, my nose with Major Battle and those guys, they'd break them once with those axe kicks, and you get used to it. Yep. That just sets you off.
Yep.
But, I mean, you're the type, and I know I was, once you got hit, it woke you up. Oh, all right. Now we're in it.
Now I'm mad.
Yeah. Because I was always a slow starter. I would start so slow because I'm lazy. But all of a sudden, you hit me, and now I got to go. The adrenaline breaks, and you're the same way. Yep. Yeah. As we were doing the show, we were talking about it. You did a charity fight.
Yep.
Trained for 1 day. I said, "How long did you train?" He goes, "1 day." The guy asked me, "What was that all about, the charity fight?"
So it was, I believe it was for an MS. So one of the kids was really sick, and my coach, who I'd only known for about 2 weeks,
right.
I had just joined Title Boxing as a way to get back into shape or continue to be in shape or whatever. And he comes up to me, he goes, "Man, I love how you hit the bag."
Boom, boom, boom. Like Rocky.
I would just,
you
just
were
a big
slamming,
meathead, no skill whatsoever.
Just hit hard, knockout.
Yeah, and he goes, "Man, you're killing the bag." You want to any chance you'd be interested in doing a charity kickboxing event? And I'm standing there with my wife. I look at her. She goes, sure, go ahead. Yeah, I got to get permission from the boss.
Well, yeah,
she's my manager.
Of course, yeah.
And so I said, yeah, I'll more than happy to try. And he goes, well, all right, I'll let you know what's up. And then comes up 10 minutes later and says, all right, you're in. I'm like, oh, beautiful. What's the date? He goes, tomorrow night. I look at my wife. She goes, forget it. I go,
no,
I'm in.
Yeah.
I said, I'm in.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
The kid you fought, was he a seasoned fighter?
No, but from what I'm told, he had a lot of ambition. He wanted to be a fighter.
Right, yeah.
He wanted to be an MMA fighter.
Right.
And
so he was training hard.
He was training hard. He was a lot younger than me. I was 43 at the time.
Yeah.
And he was 27.
Yeah.
He's a baby.
That's a big difference.
Yeah. And he had me by about 4 inches.
Yeah.
Weight, I probably had him by 5 pounds, but I didn't care.
Yeah, because you showed me films, but I wasn't there. But you showed me films. Where was that, by the way?
We fought in the basement at Tokyo Joe's in Hooksett.
Okay.
And they had a nice setup down
big
there,
setup,
big
beautiful.
ring.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
And my coach was like, "Man, why are you all right? Are you okay?" I'm like, what do you mean? You're too calm.
Yeah.
I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah.
I fought for my father.
Yeah.
100 fights, and I trained my whole life for this.
Yeah.
And
this is just something I'm not. Oh, and you could use the kicks in this. I thought it was a boxing match.
My coach asked me not to kick the guy because he knew.
Wow, you'd have killed him.
He saw me kick the bag at the school and he goes, "Man, just punch him."
Yeah, just punch
if you have to kick him. And I did throw one kick. I threw I threw a couple front round kicks low.
Right.
And I threw a nice spinning back kick, and I followed it up. When my foot planted, I followed it up with a back fist. And that's when I caught him the first time with the back fist, and he went into the corner, and he got a standing 8 count.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at my coach, and I'm like, just tell him to stop the fight.
Yeah.
This kid's going to get hurt. And my coach is like, just keep going. I'm like, I can't. I'm tired. I don't want to fight anymore. And he's like, get in there. And I went to the wrong corner. I went to my corner, supposed to go to the neutral corner. And he goes, get over there. I'm like, call the fight. He goes, they're not going to call the fight.
Yeah.
Damn it. So I said, I'm knocking him out. And the very next punch was
You knocked him out. Yeah.
It was, and I told him he should have stopped the fight.
Yeah.
But they yelled at my coach. They thought, hey, you brought in a ringer.
No.
And my coach is like, what are you talking about? And the guy comes over to me. He's like, how old are you? I'm 43 years old. I'm bald. I'm tired. I'm gray. He goes, when's the last time you fought? I go, I don't know, 92.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, okay. And he walks away and he apologized to my coach. And my coach was like,
And what you did fight was a whole different world. It was Taekwondo fighting.
Right.
And that was more kicks, not full.
All kicks. I mean, you can't punch in the face in Taekwondo.
No, you can't.
Not in tournaments anyway.
That's
but
right.
You taught me how to do it, but you can't just throw a punch in someone's face at a tournament.
Right.
If you hit him in the chest and that's it.
Yeah. Would you hit him with a right? A right
yeah,
hook?
well, I kept doing back and forth, changing up my stance, going from southpaw to regular, and I let him off with the southpaw, and I fought in southpaw a lot in that fight. So he started to believe that my left was my power.
Yeah. Didn't know.
And I switched it up, and he got confused, and he rotated right to my right.
Boom.
And I'm like, all right, well, that's that, I guess.
Yeah, you almost feel bad for the kid because he showed me films of it. And I went, oh. And
that was a bad knockout.
The kid went down, and then you were exhausted yourself, but you were on the opposite side of him in your corner. Yeah. And so you had to walk over him.
I just stepped right over him.
And I
Such
said,
bad etiquette.
Yeah, but you
called me right out on it. What are you doing?
Jimmy, what are you doing with
that? You didn't even critique the fight. You just said, you can't step over him like that.
Step over. I laughed. I said, there's my son. Well, you just want to get back to your corner.
I just want to go home.
Yeah. Where's my corner, coach?
Where's the oxygen tanks?
Yeah. And the coach says, well, we got another fight coming up in a couple of... No, all right, give me a break. Yeah.
I hung him up right there. Yeah. And he goes, I can sanction you. You want to get sanctioned? Yeah. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
He did hit me once, and I did not like it at all.
No.
But
in the face?
Yeah, he got me in the jaw, but I was pretty clenched.
Yeah.
Tell you, I was sore for a week from clenching so hard.
Yep.
I mean, he didn't hit me hard enough to hurt me, but from clenching every time he threw a punch, I felt like I broke my jaw.
I remember when I fought. I forget which fight it was, and I got hit in the jaw. For days, I couldn't chew right. My jaw was a little dislocated.
Yep.
All right, and I'm like, I can't chew right. The bottom. So what I ended up doing was taking my palm and banging it. I banged it right back in. And all of a sudden, I go, I just put my jaw back in. I'm better. I better
He
get out.
didn't mean that hard, but
Yeah.
again, I was pretty elusive. I get the unorthodox style of fighting. So
Was who was there to watch you? Was
my wife,
your
who
wife
was my
and the
greatest
kids?
cheerleader. No, my
Oh.
son was in the Marines at the time.
Yeah.
He was not happy. He wanted to be there.
Oh, yeah.
And then my daughter, she was in Los Angeles acting. So
Okay.
it was just the two of us. But I mean, the whole school came out to watch the whole title box. I mean,
Right.
there was probably 100 students there just cheering me. It felt good. Felt like a rock star.
You well, that's what we said earlier. You get addicted to winning. You get addicted to the elation, and it's worth everything that happens to you. You don't get
It's worth all the pain.
It's worth all the pain. You've been beaten up your whole life. You've been, and this is just you look at the other guy, and you know right off the bat, as we were saying earlier, you shake their hand, and you size them up, going, "I got him,"
Yeah.
or I got a tough guy here. You can tell a tough guy, or you can tell
He
a guy.
was tough. He wouldn't look me in the eye, and again, it was like looking up at him. I felt like Rocky looking at Drago.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
bigger than me, but I just knew I was a little more stout than he was. So I figured all I could do is hit you once, buddy, and it's over.
You at that point you were already a seasoned worker, and at the point of doing roofs, many roofs, and any roofer, and you could take. Was it 2, or did you have more than 2 bundles used?
I've taken 3 up the ladder.
3 bundles. If anyone knows what a bundle weighs, or ever picked up a bundle, you know the 3 bundles, and you want a bet on that, right? A bet on the 3 bundles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
Because
do
you
it.
don't do that a regular bet.
Why would you do that?
I actually worked with Jimmy for a few years, and I remember him saying, "Dad, come work with me," because I was in between jobs. And I said, "Jim, I can't do that." "Nah, don't worry. I won't have you working hard." I'm trying to carry bundles up with him, right? And he's carrying 2 bundles up on a roof, on a ladder, straight up, and I'm trying 1, all right? And I remember cutting that 1 in half and doing half bundles, but ripping my shoulder
Now
apart.
they're open. Now the
Now they're
granules
open,
are all
yeah.
tearing in.
And I didn't know what was worth the bundle. Yeah. Because when I would candle up, one bundle was something, but when I got to the top of the ladder, I didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
I was so scared up there.
Right. Yeah, that's the one thing. You could be the strongest guy in the world, man. If you don't have your legs under you, it's useless.
Well, it's funny too, and I was always a strong guy for my weight, and I've always been a thin guy. So, I weigh 170 now, 165, but that's why when you boxed, and you think of training, and you didn't train, but that kid didn't work what you did, and you watch the Rocky movies. What was his best training? You give him an axe.
Yep.
You give him
A big board. He's in the
board.
snow. He's
right.
lifting
And everybody else
the
has got
stones.
That's
Yep.
right, and that's you every day of your
My
life.
whole life, yeah.
So now you're looking at this kid he's in the gym and he's hitting the bag and stuff, and you're going, it's in the blood, it's in your bones. Yeah, hit me all you want.
All I gotta do is hit you once.
Oh, yeah. All you're gonna get me mad. Yeah, because I've done roofs tougher than you.
I've done some really garbage jobs in my life, and this is playtime for me.
Yeah. Well, I've seen even today. I mean, you're pushing, and I'm not gonna get you old, but you're pushing the old 50 mark.
It's within my grasp.
Yeah,
It
70's in my grasp. So you're a young kid. You're still a young kid.
Yeah.
But what happens is you, and not even today, as I'm saying, you'll build a deck. I looked at a deck on a porch that's 10 feet high, and you'll show me this deck, a finished deck, and you did it yourself. Impossible. So what happens is your whole life, your core, the core in your body can pick up things and balance things where not many human beings can do that.
I can't see my abs, but they're strong.
Oh,
they're
it's
strong.
your core.
My balance and martial arts was the main. I could stand there on one foot with my leg out for an hour.
Right.
And some people can't stand straight for an hour.
Right.
You learned how to just
You get the core and
keep
you get
that center and just fight through it.
The
whatever.
inner strength. There's not just bulk and muscles. It's inner strength, and it's up in here in the head. If you're not going down, I don't care how good that. I'm not going
You're
down.
gonna have to kill me.
Yeah. And that's why you did so well in your martial arts, and even in any sports. Like you're playing some softball now and stuff, and then anything like even now, if you want to do MMA at your age, you would still do well.
Yeah,
Because you got that strength. Jim.
MMA is that type, though. It's just one of those things. If you don't entrench yourself in it,
Right.
it's a hobby.
Oh no, yeah.
You can see the guys. I always make the joke. I'll fight anybody in the room except an MMA guy.
Yeah.
Because you see that cauliflower ear.
Yeah, they're
And
whack.
you see that just look of
Yeah.
that 1,000-yard stare, and it's quick for me to just go, I ain't fighting that guy.
Right. Yeah.
We're gonna be friends. I'm gonna make friends with that guy.
You would have been good at it if you had the time.
That's the type of thing you got to start young, and you have to put
had
a million hours of training in.
And the thing is, like with the Taekwondo, was already instilled in you. You'd have to learn jujitsu. You'd have to learn,
striking.
Because that jujitsu right there is the takedowns. Is if you're not used to it, they're gonna fold you up.
Yep.
But
You have to start from the ground and work yourself
That's
up
right.
to a striking guy.
Yeah.
That's why guys like, for a while, McGregor was my favorite guy when he was hungry.
Yeah.
Before he had the hundreds of millions of dollars
Hundreds
in his
of
bank
millions,
account. And now I don't see that same killer instinct,
in him,
at least when he's in the ring.
yeah.
But it's catching up with him. He's not the greatest ground technician.
He's getting older too.
He's probably the best striker in the MMA.
Right. Yeah.
But a good versed guy will just take it to the ground.
Yeah.
And then
you-
Khabib was
you-
not a great striker and just put him in a pretzel.
Do you think what him at his good point and Royce Gracie at his top point? Who do you think?
Because of the striking and the ability to do both,
McGregor?
I would take McGregor. When you watch Gracie, no one knew how to defend it. It
That's
was
right.
all brand
That
new.
was new,
He's
right.
wrapping his gi around their necks.
Yeah,
and-
they didn't know what was going.
Whoa, what is this guy?
And they were
This
bar
is
fighters.
boring. And
Half
I'm
of them
over
were-
here,
oh, yeah.
I didn't like it. I'm like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
Give me chemo.
Yeah.
Pummeled him for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
But ended up tapping out
Right.
because he couldn't go any further. But Gracie was destroyed. I look at McGregor as that hybrid between them.
Yeah.
I think he would. I really think he would.
How old's
dominate it.
McGregor now? In his 30s.
Probably 35, 37.
So he
Getting long
can
in the
only
tooth.
take so much, and he's breaking bones now. His legs and
Well, the good
things are
thing
breaking. And,
about MMA is you don't fight 25 times a year. And
Right.
these guys are starting when you're a big money, when you're
right.
pay-per-view candies.
Yeah.
They only get a fight once or twice a year,
Right.
maybe.
And talk about it for most
And
of the
they make $20 million on that fight.
Yeah.
and
To
they
be
can
the
relax.
Muhammad Ali of MMA.
Right.
Yeah. You talk it, and people want to hear you talk because you're out of control.
I mean, a lot of people want to pick on who's the fighter there, undefeated. All he did was talk.
MMA?
talk. No, just straight regular boxing. I'm Floyd Mayweather. Thank you. I'm sorry.
All right. Yeah.
People don't like your style, but I'm like, 50 fights, no losses. I don't care how
you can
how
back
much
it
you
up.
run, or
Right.
he's running now because he's protecting his
Right.
his career, but he fought. I've seen him get whaled.
Yeah.
And you couldn't beat him.
Right.
That means something. Rocky Marciano going undefeated. That means something.
Oh, yeah. Well,
That's
you
a
can
record.
back it up. You can back it up. You can. Rocky Marciano never said a word. He was the most polite, and he might have died broke. Those boxers did.
Different era, yeah.
Oh my
Different
God!
era.
Yeah, he even said that he was on a show, and somebody was talking. It was a whatever show it was, and to Rocky Marciano, and he says, "We don't get the money you think we're going to get." It was a show you can win money, and I guess he won money, and he goes, "We're not getting what you think we're getting." But after that, you had the Muhammad Ali's and your Joe Frazier's, and these guys. Now boxing exploded.
With the movie Cinderella Man, and with Russell Crowe, and he played the names leaving my head, but he would literally work down at the docks
Yeah.
and then go train and then go work at the docks.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't get a better train than a 7, 10, 12-hour shift of nothing but abuse on your body.
Abuse. That's right. That's what I'm saying. If you can make a deck the way you make it, All right, a deck. You probably need 3 guys, 2 guys to hold and 1 guy to start screwing stuff in. And I'm looking, and I says, "Who helped you with that?" I did it myself. Then you did a twin one for the person next to it, and I'm like, "Jimmy, you're 15 feet up in the air. How'd you hold it?" "Don't worry, Dad. I work better alone."
I don't. It doesn't play well with others.
I don't play well. And now, even with as I say, with the roofing and anything else, if Extreme Measures is Jimmy's company, unbelievable the stuff you can do. And now you're doing a lot more finish. You're inside now.
Yeah, the body.
Not that that's
the
easy.
Big stuff.
Yeah, but not that that's easy.
No, sometimes it's worse.
Yeah, you're
Sometimes it's
inside
worse,
and ripping stuff because demo, which used to be your favorite.
Tornado.
Yeah, tornado. That's why even on the American Builder. And today on American Builder, we're going to have Jim Lemire doing demo. Bing! Everyone's going, "Oh, this is going to be great," because you knew something was going down.
Yeah, someone's going to get thrown.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Brian Gary would come into the picture just to goad you on, just to say, "Hey,
Always.
Jimmy, push that water heater down from 2 stories down, and there's water in it, and let's see what we can get away with."
Exactly.
Yeah, you and him together on the American Builder was just trouble.
Yeah.
There was just
comedy.
just funny.
Pure comedy. Yeah.
Oh, it's comedy.
It's
fun.
real. It was real life. There was no scripting.
No script.
Very light script. Like, hey, we're going to demo this wall.
That's it. There's
now
your script.
Now watch these 2 idiots do it.
Yeah.
Watch the comedy that ensues.
And I'm telling you, I missed that show because all these other shows, these building show stuff, everything was perfect. And the nail goes in the screw, and nothing ever goes wrong for a half hour. And every carpenter in the world's going, "That's a lot of crap."
That thing's gonna fall apart.
Yeah,
in 6
that's a
days.
crap. Yeah, it doesn't go that easy. And their wives going, "Look at how easy he made it look, honey."
Yep. There's TV shows out there that made their money on
that.
On 7 days, build a whole home.
Yeah.
Go down there 20 years later, the places are falling apart.
Bro, yeah.
Because you can't rush a house that quickly.
That's right.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah, that was fair. We had there were so many funny things. I think, did he do even a whole show of you throwing tools the whole show or something? He did something. It was a montage or something. And
They did a breakaway one time. It was like 3 minutes long, and it was just
you
throwing
throwing
temper tantrums, dropping all kinds of swears,
and I would watch,
losing my mind.
I would watch and I go, "Oh no!" And it was, especially I remember you got so mad once you grabbed a sawzall with the plug and you started swinging it around and just threw it into the building. I think all
It
I heard
stopped
was
working. I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done. Yep.
we had fun. That was I did have fun, but boy, it's a lot of hard work. People.
Well, funny story. We were at a tool convention in Boston, and this one guy selling this indestructible
Oh yeah,
drill.
Yeah, I remember that.
And Brian goes, "I got the guy for you. I got the guy for you."
Indestructible. He's
He
got a
goes,
commercial.
"Jimmy, come over here."
Yeah.
I walk over. He goes, "Doesn't matter. I threw this thing so hard on the ground, it explodes."
It hit the guy.
Battery hit the guy, took a chunk out of his leg. He's laying there looking at me like I'm the bad guy. And I went, "You said it wouldn't break."
You said it would be unbreakable?
Wrong.
Jimmy. That's Gummy right there.
Jimmy.
Jimmy, get over here.
He said, "You can't break this." Challenge accepted.
And the owner. Now, was that, I think Gurry was going to do a commercial for this guy or something. I didn't think he lost it or something.
Yeah, I think it went downhill real after that.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah. Hey, next time don't call me for that type of
Wrong
job.
guy.
Oh, that's just so funny. That's what I'm saying. And then I'd watch it on TV and I'd just roar because I seen it sometimes firsthand if I was there with you. And then so we talked a little about Lexi. I want to give a shout out to Lexi, who's an unbelievable actress. I mean, and we're just dying for more. You always want more. Yep. And she's got so if anybody wants to Google Alexis Lemire, you'll see all the movies she's doing, and you can probably get them on any station.
Yeah, you don't have to pay for any of them anymore.
They're all there.
A lot of them are on Netflix now.
Right. And I think 5 or 6 within the last 5 years or something.
Yep.
Last one was unbelievable with Katie Seagal. Then Jimmy's son, Joel Lemire. We'll talk a little about.
Joy.
Yeah, Joel Marine, and when we say Marine, the Marine's Marine. 150 pounds, solid.
Built like a tank.
What did he? When we went to his graduation, what did they call it that he had?
Iron Man.
He was the Iron Man.
Most fit Marine on the base.
At
Parasite.
Parasite.
Yep.
And how many Marines? Is there hundreds?
There's like probably 600-700 Marines. He was the number one.
He was the number one. Imagine.
Fitness wise, he had the opportunity to be the number one Marine overall, but he had a rough day shooting, and what they call it is a pizza box. Anyone that military knows what I'm saying. But he wants to. Everyone was telling me that it wasn't really his fault, that one of the other drill sergeants kicked over all the guns, the rack of guns, and his sights were off. Day before, he shot marksman perfect every shot.
Right.
And then this day comes, and this guy had something against Joel, and he kicked over all the guns right before Joel shoots. And hey, that's life. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
But he could have been, the number one Marine at boot camp and basic training.
Wow.
And then he went off to do his tour and machine gunner.
Yeah.
The craziest of the crazy.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
I loved every minute of it.
And anyone knows Joel, just laid back, shy, not shy, but just a polite guy with his elders. With me, nothing but joy. And when we went to Paris Island for the graduation, we get to sit kind of with the generals because of him making. And I remember some general comes over to me. You knew he was a general, and I was talking to Joel, and I said, yeah, I'm Joel's grandfather. Now this guy right here, and you could see Joel just looking at him. This is what we call a Marine, and blah blah.
Yeah, he was platoon leader from day one, and only relinquished it for one day as a punishment to the rest of the his platoon. They gave it to the worst Marine.
Yeah.
And basically to just make it so that they had to do PT for the whole day because the kid just was like constant, private piles scenario.
That's nice.
Just
Yeah.
pick on him. And as soon as the day was over, Rod, you're back on.
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's funny. And now it's funny because he was machine gunner and he used to use all the vision
the scopes and the night vision.
everything that L3 Insight used to make. Now he's working for L3 Harris, which doing the same thing.
Yep.
He's in the environmental,
yep.
Lab technician.
And he gets to shoot them.
He does.
You guys build them. He tests them.
Yeah.
Puts them through all the radiation,
environmental,
and heat and environmental, and then he gets to go put them on a gun and go shoot them.
And
he gets paid to do everyone's dream job.
Yeah, it's well, he's a likable kid, and he's smart, and now he's doing with Carissa, his girlfriend. He's doing, what do you call it? The iron?
Spartan race.
The Spartan race.
Yeah, they just did He's working on the trifecta, which would be what they did last week, which was 2 in one day up at Bear, Mass.
Right.
One was a 12-mile, and the other one I think was a 9K and a 3K. I think what it was.
All in one day or 2 days?
2 days.
2 days.
They did the 9K
On one
first day.
day,
There was like 15 obstacles.
Yeah.
He breezed through that.
Yep.
Day 2 was a sprint, they called it, and it was 20 obstacles, but only like 3-4 miles.
But you have to sprint. It was
a run,
yeah. It's a run.
And then I think in September, he's headed up for the second year in a row. He's headed up to Killington to do
and that's
the Beast.
The Beast, yeah.
I think it's the Beast. It might be the Beast.
It's something like that. It's to break you.
It's a half marathon, uphill 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not looking forward to it, but he's ready. He's trained.
And he tells me, he says, Pep, he goes, these guys, they're animals, but he's doing well too. He's got that attitude. He's laid back, but he's got the perfect body, I think, for that.
He's like a ninja warrior.
He's
like, he could go do that. He's a little short in the stature as far as height, goes. So the obstacles would be difficult for him. Like some of the obstacles I'm watching him do, and I'm like,
how's he getting up there?
My weight, I couldn't do it.
Right.
But he's 160 pounds.
All muscle.
Solid.
Just solid.
He's like a monkey just swinging from thing to thing.
With
it's
Carissa.
crazy.
And Carissa.
Yeah, she's right there with him.
Yeah. I watched him on Facebook workouts, and I'm like, look at the weight they're using. And she did really well in the last one, too. Yep. So they're looking for this. I'm going to get them both on the show.
600 girls
she's 21?
In her age group or whatever, and she came in 6th.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Wow.
I think 21st overall.
Overall, okay,
and
yeah.
6th in the women's department. And they weren't trying. They weren't trying to like race. They were just
going,
doing it. And Joelle pushed the
See,
the
she's got
pace.
that body like Joelle also. So that type of thing. If you're a big, heavy guy, you're gonna hurt because they're on monkey
I'm gonna
bars.
find out next year. I'm doing it.
Oh, you
Doing
really?
I'm gonna do the first day of the leg, which would I think it was 9K or 6K,
Yeah.
something like that. But I'm gonna do it next year,
And
and
what do you-
my wife's gonna do it with me. So
Where
it's
you
gonna
guys
hurt.
practice? Where do you practice for that?
Practice? I don't work.
No, I know, but
Just-
you got to know. You got to know how to do the monkey bars or anything like that. No,
If I fail, I fail. I don't have time to work out and train. And
right.
I mean, I'll go to the gym if I have time. And
So Joel's really not training for it either.
but he goes to the gym.
gotta run.
He goes to the gym 6 days a week, and he's on the treadmill. And he's on the.
Are you gonna run?
Stairmaster.
You gonna do
No.
That's great.
I got all day to get it done.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
like there's a time limit.
Oh, okay, yeah. And
looking
Hilda's
at-
going to do it
It's
too.
going to be a family thing. Yeah, we're just going to go do it.
Yeah.
Why not? And we're going to try to get Lexi and
Yeah.
Alex to come down and do it with her. And
Yeah, that's cool. Don't ask me. That's really, but he's even
why not?
he's even saying,
Gonna
well,
hurt.
you know what, if you're not training, I won't train you. But I don't know. 70. I says I'm going to be 70. I'm going up on 70 in a couple of years. Pep,
saw some
there's guys old like that.
Big,
Yeah.
rotund old men. They were slowly working their way through the course.
When are you doing this?
So what's it? August?
I wouldn't.
August next year.
I wouldn't commit, but all right.
No, you
You
don't have to
never
commit
know.
until a couple months before.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Talk to me.
I'm doing it. I mean, barring any injuries that I might have at the time.
Yeah, that's the
Planning
big
on
thing.
I'm
Yeah.
planning on it.
Yeah, because I told Joel and Carissa that I want them on this show, even now and then after, because the Burlington thing, he goes, Pep, they're there to break you. That thing is to break people.
Yep.
That's how hard they want to make it.
Up Killington Mountain 3 times.
Imagine.
Half marathon.
And Killington
20
goes like this.
I
Yeah,
think it's 13 or 14 miles with obstacles.
uphill a lot.
Uphill.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it was dry last year and it was torture. If the rainy year that we've had
yeah.
might be almost impossissible to do because it's going to be muddy and slippery.
What's the date? When's he doing it?
I believe it's September.
Yeah, it's a couple weeks.
Mid-September.
See, the
Mid-September.
problem is if you go to watch, you really can't. How do you watch? You're only going to see,
We went down on Saturday to watch, and we got to watch him do 3 obstacles.
and that's it.
That's it, because
he's
the-
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
That's
a
pretty
6 mile,
tough.
5 mile run.
Then you're hanging around and stuff.
I
yeah.
can't keep up with him. Even him doing obstacles, it would take me a
Yeah.
whole day to do that.
Oh, you
to
can
watch
if you
him.
want to walk and
No, you can't.
You can't run
see
with
every
them.
obstacle. You can see a good amount if
Right.
you just bring some binoculars and whatnot. But
I told him, I says, "Is this something you can go pro?" And he goes, "Oh, these guys are
a lot of
good.
training.
These guys are good." And
These
if you-
guys are Ironmen. They do triathlons.
yeah, all right.
And you look at some of the winners. They doing it. It took him 2 hours to complete the bigger one on Saturday,
Right.
and some of the guys did it in like 45 minutes.
Wow.
I mean, it's just a full sprint. It's
Yeah.
like the Kenyan marathon runners. Just go.
That's yeah. That'd be the tough thing there and stuff. But you never know if you get a sponsor. See, it always comes down. If you can get a sponsor that's going to give you $100,000 a year, then you quit your job and you train.
train.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Maybe searching
Go
for
get
spon-
5 or 6 sponsors, and it becomes a job.
Right,
You know,
right, yeah.
not a job I would want to do, but
Yeah, no, well, when you were younger, you probably would have given it a shot. You never know. You never know when you're younger, but
never had the stamina to do things like that. I was more of a
that's what it was. Yeah,
paced type of athletics.
right.
I need that 20 seconds in between each play
Boom.
to catch my
Boom.
breath,
Yeah.
and then go
Yeah.
run my head into a wall
And
again.
then because you always had the problem breathing,
Yep.
and you always kept it in your head going, I can't get into that point
gotta
where I
pace
can't
myself.
breathe.
I
Yeah,
gotta pace.
Jimmy, we're all done. That was it, and I thank you so much. We're
That
gonna do
was
it
a pleasure.
again.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Maybe if I'd like to get you and Joel and Carissa and Hilda, if you guys are gonna do one of those, and we'll talk about it,
All right.
and we could have a couple of laughs on that. But that's a year away. But still, I'm gonna get you back on the show.
Sounds good.
And we can talk about anything. It's sports, and if anybody knows sports, it's Jim Lemire.
Played a few.
Especially, and even football. Even if we would talk to a little about the Patriots, or you know what I'm saying, you know your sports, and you always did. Well, I hope you enjoyed the show. Once again, we're you can get this on YouTube anytime you want to watch it. Taekwondo Grandmaster Bob Lemire. Just Google that, and you'll get this show, and you'll get also Taekwondo show that we just did. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you again, Jim. Till next time, train hard and have some fun.